In an unprecedented and explosive turn of events, diplomatic relations between Mali and Ukraine have reached a boiling point. The transitional government of the Republic of Mali has issued a searing communiqué condemning Ukraine for its alleged involvement in a brutal attack on Malian defense and Russian security forces in Tinzaouaten. This is as Ukraine unveils new lineup of jets to fight Russia. Mali's transitional government revealed that Andriy Usov, the spokesman for the Ukrainian Military Intelligence Agency, brazenly admitted Ukraine's involvement in what has been described as a cowardly, traitorous, and barbaric attack by armed terrorist groups. The attack, which resulted in tragic loss of Malian and Russian soldiers, has been making waves across social media. Let's listen to the statement to fully understand Mali's reaction.
J'ai l'insigne honneur de donner lecture du communiqué numéro 068 du gouvernement de la transition.
On behalf of our highest authorities, I have the great honor of reading communiqué number 068 of the transitional government. The communiqué's content follows. The transitional government of the Republic of Mali has taken note with deep shock of the subversive remarks by which Mr. Andriy Usov, spokesman for the Ukrainian Military Intelligence Agency, admitted the involvement of Ukraine in a cowardly, traitorous, and barbaric attack by armed terrorist groups that resulted in the death of elements of the Malian defense and security forces in Tinzaouaten, as well as material damage. These remarks were reinforced by Mr. Yuri Pivot-Verev, the Ukrainian ambassador to Senegal, who openly and unequivocally displayed his country's support for international terrorism by speaking in Mali. Worse, in their comments, these Ukrainian officials have announced other results to come. These extremely serious assertions have, in fact, not been denied or condemned by the Ukrainian authorities, which shows a clear official support of the Ukrainian government for terrorism in Africa, in the Sahel, and more specifically in Mali. After a thorough examination of the situation, the transitional government of the Republic of Mali emphasizes that the actions taken by the Ukrainian authorities violate the sovereignty of Mali, go beyond the framework of foreign interference, already condemnable in itself, and constitute a clear aggression by Mali. Support for international terrorism is a flagrant violation of international law, including the Charter of the United Nations. The transitional government of the Republic of Mali strongly condemns Ukrainian aggression and denounces this hostility of the Ukrainian authorities, contrary to the position of neutrality observed by Mali, which has always called for a peaceful settlement of the crisis opposing the Russian Federation to Ukraine. In addition, the transitional government of the Republic of Mali fully adheres to the diagnosis established by the Russian Federation, which has nevertheless warned the world for years about the neo-Nazi and savage nature of the Ukrainian authorities, today allies of international terrorism, far from the aspirations of peace and stability of the Ukrainian people. Following the acknowledged and assumed involvement of Ukraine in the aggression characterized by Mali, the transitional government of the Republic of Mali decides on the following measures. 1. The immediate termination of diplomatic relations between the Republic of Mali and Ukraine, the latter whose destinies are unfortunately entrusted to puppets confusing the international scene and the theater stage. I repeat. 1. The immediate termination of diplomatic relations between the Republic of Mali and Ukraine, the latter whose destinies are unfortunately entrusted to puppets confusing the international scene and the theater stage. Mali's government viewed this incident within a larger context of foreign interference and neo-colonial ambitions, accusing certain actors of using terrorist groups to destabilize the region. This aggressive stance by Ukraine, they argue, is part of a sinister plot to undermine the sovereignty and socio-economic development of Sahel states. Despite these aggressive acts, Mali remains steadfast. Alongside Burkina Faso and Niger, the Confederation of Sahel Alliance states vows to continue their march towards sovereignty and self-determination. This unity is seen as a bulwark against external threats, reinforcing their commitment to peace and stability in the region. I repeat for the last time. 1. The immediate termination of diplomatic relations between the Republic of Mali and Ukraine, the latter whose destinies are unfortunately entrusted to puppets confusing the international scene and the theater stage. 2. The referral to the competent judicial authorities following the remarks of Mr. Andriy Usov and Yuri Pivot-Verev, which constitute acts of terrorism and apology for terrorism. 3. Taking the necessary measures to prevent any destabilization of Mali from African states, particularly from Ukrainian embassies set up in the sub-region with terrorists disguised as diplomats. 4. Formally alerting regional and international bodies as well as states that support Ukraine by informing them that this country has openly and publicly displayed its support for terrorism. Consequently, Mali considers support for Ukraine as support for international terrorism. Mali calls on the international community to take responsibility in the face of Ukraine's deliberate choice to support terrorism in a global context where there is unanimity on the imperative to combat this terrorism. Mali calls in particular on African states and peoples and those who are committed to peace to denounce these subversive actions that threaten the stability of the African continent. The transitional government of the Republic of Mali reiterates its thanks to the friendly countries of Mali that have shown their solidarity in the face of the terrorist attacks perpetrated with the competition of foreign sponsors. The transitional government of the Republic of Mali notes that this aggression maintained by Ukraine is part of the broader pattern of certain actors who actively support and instrumentalize armed terrorist groups, allied with rebel groups for hegemonic and neo-colonial purposes, and to break the dynamics of emancipation, of reconquest of sovereignty, and socio-economic development initiated by the Conference of the States of the Sahel Alliance. The acts of aggression, far from achieving their objective, strengthen, on the contrary, the commitment and determination of Burkina Faso, the Republic of Mali, and the Republic of Niger within the framework of the Confederation of Sahel Alliance states to continue with more vigor their resolute march towards the strengthening of their sovereignty and the taking in hand of their destiny, for the happiness of the populations of these states. Mali bows before the memory of all the victims of insecurity in the Sahel and affirms that the crimes perpetrated will not go unpunished. May God bless Mali and the Sahel. Bamako, August 4, 2024. Following the news, Ukraine has unveiled a new lineup of jets to bolster its efforts against Russia, signaling a planned involvement in the ongoing conflict in the Sahel.
With the missions, I think you will see, maybe not all of them, but you will see the results. We will decide to command if it was the result with F-16 or not. It's not, it's not the moment for this. I think it's very dangerous for today. We need to do all the security measures which have been discussed with our partners about using F-16. But anyway, these jets are in our sky.
Mali honors the memory of all victims of insecurity in the Sahel, pledging that justice will prevail. As tensions soar and the world watches closely, the future of Mali-Ukraine relations remains uncertain. One thing is clear, Mali is ready to defend its sovereignty with unwavering determination. If you like the videos that I produce on this channel, take a little time to like this video and subscribe to the channel.